Our children were playing in the neighborhood, as it was one day a safe place, and when all of a sudden a shelling was fired to target our children. They are talking about the truce, but where is it while our children are injured?
A total of 13 children were injured in an attack carried out by the Houthi militia against a residential neighborhood in Taiz. Mortar shells were fired randomly by the Houthis on residential houses in a densely populated neighborhood during the past hours.
Yesterday, after Al-Maghrib prayers, 13 children were injured due to the Houthi shelling, as they wanted to send us a message of our negligence towards their crimes. I think this attack will represent a wake-up call for Taiz residents to uprise against the Houthi violations.
Many journalists have tweeted the attack to condemn the Houthi militia and spread the word over their violations in front of the world and the international community. They added that there is no clear evidence than this to prove that the truce didn't bring peace to the Yemenis, and that terrorism is the path of this Iranian-backed sectarian faction. They further condemned the silence of the international community. As they said, a new crime was added to the record of the Houthi violations, and its ongoing crimes of the humanitarian truce declared by the United Nations, which continues to turn a blind eye to all these crimes. The attack coincided with the arrival of a high-ranking UN delegation to Taiz to push the warring sides in Yemen to extend the truce that expires on August 2. During the past days, the Houthi militia carried out a series of violations against various areas of the war-ravaged Arab country, as UN Special Envoy for Yemen Hans Grundberg stepped up his effort to extend the Yemeni truce. Several rounds of negotiations between the government and the Houthis were conducted under the auspices of the UN, but it failed to achieve any progress toward ending Yemen's year-long military conflict, as hopes for truce extension began to fade. Political observers said that the possible failure to break the years-long political stalemate on Yemen's issue will badly affect the Yemeni people aspiring for permanent peace, as the truce hasn't prevented the Houthi militia of committing crimes, but rather encouraged them to hold more violations and attacks against civilians. Only El Dala governorate has recorded more than 1,600 breaches since the beginning of the truce. Those violations varied between targeting and bombing of military sites affiliated with the joint forces and the popular resistance on the fronts of Mariz, Bab Ghalq, El Fakhir, and El Jub. The Houthi militia continues to manipulate its agreement on the United Nations extension of the truce, and they have broken their covenant to the ceasefire throughout the previous month with many violations, which proves the militia's intentions towards the poor civilians.